Good evening, this is the Oscar Expert here with Brother Bro, and we're changing a prediction.
We also have Tess here again to help us with this deliberation.
Now, you may recall in our Golden Globes predictions video, we were quite conflicted on some categories. What have we decided to do, and why?
Well, I was listening back to the video, and I think I said it myself in one. It was like, the Golden Globes often will give the Best Director award to the person who starts sweeping director, but we don't necessarily see it coming or like believe it's going to happen. And then we went with Cameron, so James Cameron, he fits this mold of like, the movie of the moment, and you know, but what doesn't Avatar have going for it? That movie probably wouldn't win director anywhere else. It's not going to win Best Picture. It's not going to really touch like the winning conversation there, and I don't think it's going to touch the winning conversation for director at other awards places. I think what we have to do, I think what makes more sense in a weird way, especially now that we have this surge of confidence based on the BAFTA shortlists, that Spielberg is not going to fucking sweep director. And this goes along with a sort of bold prediction, but honestly not really, like when you think about it, that the Daniels are going to start sweeping the major awards, and they're going to continue to sweep, and they're just going to sweep in director.
If we think Daniels are winning BAFTA, and we think Daniels are winning DGA, I guess maybe DGA could go another way, and we think Daniels are winning Critics' Choice, then why would I predict the only place they don't win is the Golden Globes? It would be kind of weird.
When usually the Golden Globes pick a director who goes along with what the other awards
and remember when my dumbass said, well, Chloe Zhao, she's going to win everything else probably.
Yep.
But maybe not the Golden Globes. We'll just go with Fincher because they know. Here's the thing. It won't be weird looking back on
exactly. That's the thing.
When Sam Mendes won, it felt so weird. When Iñárritu won, it felt so weird. But then looking back, it was like, yeah. It'll be like, that makes sense that they won director because they were winning director.
Yep. Because I feel very confident that they're going to win the Oscar for Best Director. I didn't think Everything Everywhere would win Director and Best Picture, even when I thought it was winning Best Picture. Because I thought, okay, surely there must be some movie that's going to take over the director, and then like Everything Everywhere can have like screenplay and picture. No. That movie's sweeping director with critics. When you start to sweep like that, in director, it actually does like continue into the major awards.
I have one thing to say though. The director category at the Globes has correlated with the Oscars 58% of the time. So it's not amazing. No. But the other argument that I made in my last video that debunked my own prediction, which was James Cameron, was usually the movie that wins director at the Globes becomes a top 3 contender. How am I supposed to say that Avatar is going to become a top 3 contender if I believe Top Gun kind of has that blockbuster slot there for it? And I don't really believe that Avatar is going to become a top 3 contender, and so it makes more sense to predict Daniels, who we know are a top 3 contender, really the only movie in the director lineup that we can for sure say. I mean, maybe McDonough, but that's not going to happen.
Maybe we're too hasty to like triple down on this, because in the last video I feel like we doubled down on like Fableman's underperforming, but like the BAFTA shortlist snubbery, which is industry folk, by the way, like these are not just like a continuation of critics, these are industry people now.
But the Golden Globes are also not in industry, they're not BAFTA.
Sure, but now we can say that like it's not just critics in a bubble, right? So it's looking forward and seeing like, okay, what is the Fablemans? What is it? You tell me. You should know what just happened at the BAFTAs. It makes the Fablemans into Belfast. That's what happens.
And
Fablemans
Trial of the Chicago
is
7.
most likely one of those movies, and I just don't see that being like director.
Yeah, it's like Ridley Scott in The Martian, when everyone was like, he's gonna win because he's Ridley Scott.
I also felt like James Cameron in Avatar is too similar to Ridley Scott in The Martian.
It's
even though people aren't predicting him to win, it feels like it's too much that sort
ultimately
of thing.
I think it's weird to say that Cameron goes 3 for 3, and it's weird to say that movie wins director but not picture, and it's weird to say that movie wins picture. So ultimately the Daniels, the only thing that, you know, is weird about it is that we're not ready to accept that it's that strong in director. But now I'm ready to accept that it is very strong in director, and the BAFTAs kind of gave me that validation. Okay, Daniels really are winning director at the Oscars. And
just because it's hard to see who would compete with him. Like, people are really fishing, you know, people who are taking down Spielberg. I don't even know who else. So if you're going to bet against
Cameron, I still would say a little bit more, but he also won. He already won, like, I don't know.
But that's where it's like, I'm jumping through more hoops to say that not Daniels are going to win.
Yeah.
If I'm going to go against Spielberg,
obvious,
and I have good reason and I have good sense to not say it's Spielberg.
Even the past 2 years, like Power of the Dog and Nomadland, the critics' sweepers won director and picture at the Globes too, and that's what Everything Everywhere is.
So it's still weird for me, and I also, like, I am worried that the movie is gonna peak early, but no, I'm not that worried, but just a little bit.
Supporting actress, I am still gonna stick with Angela Bassett, even though that feels kind of weird. Jamie Lee Curtis, you know, I have learned since that she is like a big supporter of the HFPA. She stood by them.
She hosted one of their charity events, and then when they were deep into controversy, she made a video saying, hey, like, just so everyone knows, the HFPA does do this charity work, and we should recognize and honor them for that. Like, yeah, she said that when no one else was. And
I think having half of the voting members be new does diminish her chance of winning off of those kind of reasons a little bit. I think you should still predict Jamie Lee Curtis. Like, it's not a bad prediction, but I still feel like Angela Bassett could happen enough that I'll just stick with it. And with Top Gun and drama, I still feel fine about that because even though it's a very bad stat that it doesn't have a director nomination or even an actor nomination, I feel like the passion makes sense there. And I don't quite buy the Fabelmans winning.
It's like, okay, not the Fabelmans. What's could win that's not the Fabelmans?
So that's the only prediction that I'm going to change. I'm going to keep everything else the same. Don't want to go too crazy, but there you have it.
We hope you are scared. Because we are, and it's fun to be scared sometimes, you know.
Thank you for watching. Thank you for subscribing.
Is your name Daniel?